it's true. Everyone can identify with, even if it's not as like an insane, extreme trial by fire, literally way that you had to learn these lessons. So,
Yeah, to that point, like I think that one of the weird silver linings of the whole situation was how completely out of control it was for me. And so I didn't ever have the illusion of being in control of the situation. And I think that's maybe one of the extra meta difficult things about, any experience that you might find yourself relating to, but you're going, oh, but it's not the same. Well, you might have had the situation where you felt like, but I should be in control because it's not that bad. I'm not in a jail cell. And it's like, well, maybe, just maybe, there are lots of situations out there where you really don't have a lot of control, even if you're not in a jail cell. And so I think that, like, one of those, there's this chapter where I talk about going to Burning Man and sort of like grappling with the fact at a certain point where I was like, why do I still feel sad? Why do I still feel like I'm trapped in my own life? I'm not in prison anymore. I should be happy and totally cool and okay now. And I'm not. And so I like wrote on this little card that someone gave me at this like wine and watercolor painting camp at Burning Man, I wrote, pain was simpler in prison, because it was like, it made sense why I was feeling existential crisis and despair. And so when you feel existential crisis and despair outside of a situation that isn't obviously horrible, you like that. I think that's where you start to grapple with like feeling doubt about yourself, or like it just adds an extra layer to the existential crisis. And I think for me, I just like pull back and go, well, are those situations actually different from a experiential standpoint? Because yes, on the one hand, they're like the prison where I couldn't even open my own goddamn door. Like that was a whole other level, but there's a sort of psychological door that you can't open in your own life that is equally as frustrating. And then you start feeling bad about yourself because you're like, wait, don't I have control, or is that an illusion? And I think grappling with that question of like, is freedom an illusion? Like, is this thing that was stolen from me that I'm trying to get back in my life, does that even exist? And if it does, what does that actually look like? I think that's why I called it free, is because it's like this, once my freedom was stripped away from me, it became the most important thing that I could possibly get back. And I go on this journey to try to get it back. And it's not necessarily what I thought. Like it didn't end up looking like what I thought it would look like.
Yeah, there's so, I mean, this is why with like depression, when telling yourself like, well, I'm lucky I have it so good, will make it worse. It's totally. Like even depression itself can feel like a like self-imposed prison that you can't escape.